Hi guys, Dot Friel here, and I use the brand new stamp and die set of the rocking chair to make my card for the watercolor weekend. I use my Misty to set up the scene by inking the fox in the brown 969, stamping it, making a mask, and then I stamped the rocking chair. And I use Memento London Fog ink to stamp the chair. I just love these new stamp and die combination sets. So I could cover up the rocking chair and be able to, with a mask, and be able to put the flowers in between the boards. And now you can choose any flower stamps you have. And I just randomly picked a few. And I wanted to make the color be more like Bonnie did on the example of the gazebo, where there's all blue and all pink in a row, kind of. So that's what I kind of decided to do with this. So I want to put all the purple flowers kind of in a row, although it's arched. And then I put the yellow all in a row. And then I do all of the red in a row. And now I'm going to add in some foliage. So I choose some foliage stamps and I ink them in the green, and now I'm going to put them throughout. Oh, and I definitely want to mention I've been out of my Strathmore Bristol smooth paper, and I've been using watercolor paper, and I finally got some more of the smooth in, and I'm telling you, I love it so much more. It is just so easy to stamp and blend without any of the bumps on the paper. If you guys haven't tried it, you have to try it. So now I'm adding the water, and I should have started with the yellow, but I don't really want to touch much of the yellow because those can kind of be left alone. So then I go for the green, and I always clean my brush before I switch to a color. So I just kind of work my way around, adding water. And it does, when you touch the green and the red, it does kind of muddy up a little bit, but I didn't touch it too much, so it's not bad. But be careful of that if you do this. And then I take off the mask off of my fox, and I start adding some of the 947 color and pulling the color out of the lines, which I had stamped it in the brown. So I've got the brown and the reddish brown kind of working together to watercolor the fox. Make sure you leave those white spots, they're so important. And now I add some of the dark brown to the palette so I can darken up the ears and around the tail. Then I add some pink to the matte and watercolor his cheeks. I darken his nose and eyes with the twin tone brown pen. And now I take the blue 565 and put it on the palette, and I'm going to shade my rocking chair, and it really won't affect the gray lines of that I stamped it with in the Memento ink. And they won't wash out like if I had stamped the rocking chair with just the Tombow pen. I also forgot to mention that I switched to the number 1, the smallest brush, to do the fox and the rocking chair. And those are tiny lines, so this brush is a must-have for this. Another note is you can tell my mask had been used because I tried this process without using the Memento ink first on the rocking chair, and my lines did blend out too much. So I definitely recommend using an ink pad to stamp the chair. Now I use some 528 on the palette to color in some sky. And then I take 565 on the palette and add my shadow underneath the rocking chair. Now in Bonnie's example, she left more of a white line underneath of the rocking chair legs, and I would recommend that because then it definitely looks like a rocking chair does because it's up off the ground. Now I get out the twin tone brown pen again and put back in some of the lines on the fox to darken it just a little bit. And then I got out my Copic multi-liner 0.03 pen and signed my, first I added a line back in. And then I sign it. Hope you guys enjoyed my video. Please give me a thumbs up if you did. And be sure to go to my blog, creationsby.j.blogspot.com, for a full list of the supplies I used. Thanks again.